Michigan's Army. Well, now, what prompted you, what motivated you to think of an organization like this, and tell us something about the successes that you've had in reference to this organization?
Okay, well, my motivation is, number one, I was a Metro public school teacher for 7 years. I taught in the Edge Hill community, and I loved being in the classroom. But I did see, as my students got older, you know, just keeping in touch with them over the years, they ended up being pushed out of schools. They didn't love school like they used to, incarcerated, murdered. All of these things are happening to my babies, and it came a point in time in looking for other leaders to step up and to do something. And I realized that a lot of people have really great intentions but don't understand community organizing, or haven't really done the research to know and understand what really can dismantle the prison pipeline by striking at the roots, not just dealing with little symptoms, putting out fires here and there, but what can we do to cut it at its root. And that's been really the goal and the focus that we've had. We're a relatively young organization, but we've done a lot. We've had a lot of different successes, and success, of course, is relative. But we've been able to build a solid base of young people at a lot of schools to do trainings. We launched the Peace Project, which is a youth-led initiative to stop violence against youth, which has been really powerful because we train the youth and then the youth train each other. And so they are empowered and can see also how they have control, more control over their environments and over their situations than a lot of times they feel. The system, it's big, and it can also seem very overwhelming and like we can't do anything to, I don't want to say fight the system, but to correct the wrongs within the system, or to restructure the system so that everything and everyone functions properly within it. But it's actually really doable if we're strategic enough. I think another big success is that we understand, and we've done a lot of research, so that we're very strategic with everything we do. And so it won't be just a lot of feel-good moments and a lot of just things based off of emotion. We're doing things that really work.
And so, Pastor Walker, in a real sense, you as well as they have identified this as one of the real questions that we have dealing with our young people today, this whole idea of incarceration and prison to from school to prison and et cetera.
Oh, absolutely, Dr. Henry. When you listen to Ms. Hughes' statement, her story over there, you know, you understand here you got a young lady that's determined to go to school, do what's necessary, to do the right things and make the grades, and deliberately being different and not fitting into a certain mold, and then to have one thing comes up, and then to, because of the zero tolerance, to just be pushed completely out of the system into a whole negative environment, into an alternative school section, where a lot of the students in those sections, some of them are trouble students, but to put her in that environment, and that's to just curtail, you know, what she's doing. So she could have easily taken that and just given up and went into another direction, caught up in drugs, alcohol, and all types of aberrant behaviors because of that. You know, it's just by the grace of God that she had the will enough to continue to pursue what she had already predestined in her mind to accomplish. And otherwise, she would have fell victim to that trap. And that's what we need to talk about, identify that trap. What is that school to prison pipeline? How does it work? When do they identify? What do they do to determine what prison is going to be built in the future in these communities and stuff like that?
And so in a real sense, what we're doing here is trying to break that, as you indicated, break the pipeline from there. And the same thing that happens after the pipeline has put them in prison. They go to prison without any kind of reformation or anything and come back, and then they're back to prison again. And so this is really the front end, in a real sense, of this revolving door, in a real sense.
Absolutely, because, you know, you're looking at our children now, because of the privatization of prison in America, you're looking at children as commodities, you know. So this is how do we make money off of these students And of course, we know slavery is still legal in the prison system. So if I can get this free labor, and if I can find a way to target it, then I can guarantee.
Very good. And of course, we're going to be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. Thank you and welcome back to the final segment of the show for today. We're talking to Pastor Walker, Ms. Futuga, and Ms. Hughes in reference to from school to prison. The pipeline is being broken here today in terms of the information that we're receiving about some of the events that eventually will take young people into prisons, even out of the school system. And of course, Ms. Hughes, let's see if we can pick up with you, because I think that you mentioned something that was very revealing in terms of how your life simply changed and whatever. And so if you don't mind, let's talk about that for a few minutes and have Ms. Futuga to sort of to bring to some kind of resolution in terms of why she feels that what she's doing has helped you.
Okay, well, as I said, my brother was murdered in 2011, and he had always had trouble with schooling. Like, the teachers didn't want him in the class. He wasn't motivated to go because he knew that he wasn't wanted. So